me and you, my brother, need to talk to ourselves. What do we really want as a country in Nigeria?
But if you are saying that democratic principles and norms must be totally observed, so why would elections not be free and fair?
Viewpoint.
A child that is supposed to be in school, is an offense for you to send that child to the market instead of sending the child to school. Even if you are the parent, you don't have the right, because the child has a right.
Environment.
If you don't take care of yours, it will not end with you. It will affect someone else. Unfortunately, those who have taken care of themselves will also be affected by your inefficiency. So it's supposed to be a collective duty.
Sports and lots more. Morning Watch, Monday edition, a must-watch program that will make your day blissful. Join us for the interactive breakfast magazine show live from 7 a.m. to 9:30 a.m. every Monday on Delta Broadcasting Service, Warri, beaming signals of unity.
Thank you for being there. This is Morning Watch right here on Delta Rainbow Television, Warri. My name is Ogene Karu Anwapo, and we'll kickstart Morning Watch, a Monday's edition, with State of the Nation, where we will be having conversations this morning around Governor Sheriff Oborevwori's More Agenda. I'm not alone in the studio. I have with me the person of Comrade Obaro Egagifo, who is a special assistant to the Delta State Governor on Students Affairs. And also with me in the studio is Engineer Oge Samson, who is the Sofade Contractors Forum Chairman, and also National President, Elites for Good Governance. Good morning, gentlemen. Good to have you right here on Morning Watch.
Good morning. Thanks for having me.
Good morning. All right, getting started very quickly. Let's take a look into the more agenda of the Delta State Governor, with their meaningful development, determined to ensure that we embark on developmental initiatives and projects that have significance and purpose, right? And there being opportunities for all. I will run an open, transparent, and responsive government where there is shared prosperity, rather, and everybody has a sense of belonging. And we equally have the arrow that stands for reforms, realistic reforms. It says, in consolidating the work already done by the current administration and moving Delta forward. And this, as his government, shall implement realistic and impactful reforms. And the E standing for enhanced peace and security. Peace and security being the backbone for the right atmosphere for social and economic life. I'd like to begin with you this morning, Comrade Obaro. The Sheriff Oborevwori-led administration, which you are a part of, has been in office for almost 7 months now, if I'm not mistaken this morning. First off, let's get your view on the governor's administration as to how he has delivered the more agenda generally, before we narrow it down to certain sectors, the likes of education, the likes of agriculture, the likes of peace and security, alongside infrastructure.
Okay, thank you very much, and good morning, viewers. Thank you for bringing me on board for this your program. The question you ask, how His Excellency the Governor has been able to, execute the more agenda which he promised Deltan and on whose mandate he was elected by Deltans, how he has gone about it and how Deltans have felt, with the more agenda. Without missing words, I'll say it's a very good start from His Excellency the Governor of Delta State, with the way and manner he has started with the more agenda. Now, I say that because if you are a good student of history, you will agree with me that the beginning of an event will tell you where that event will automatically lead you to. The man came up with this laudable idea and said the more agenda. Initially, it was just people seeing it as more, but there is more to actually the more agenda. It talks about the meaningful development. Okay, he talks about, you know, the opportunity for all. And when you talk about the opportunity for all, it has to be in all aspects. If you are a Delta and you reside in Delta, you reside in Delta, and there are other things you do in Delta, there is an opportunity for you. Now, let us now take it, let's look at it critically from the aspect of, you know, providing leadership for the state. You know, His Excellency has been able to show to Delta that yes, he actually meant that word when he said that I am a bridge builder. You know, when you look at however you look at it, when a successive government administration transits to another administration, there are always topid ground in the political atmosphere. But if you look at the way and manner His Excellency has come on board, he has been able to manage the political dynamics of the state, and that which he has done has been able to create some level of stability in the state in terms of peace that we enjoyed in that state. Now, you agree with me too that in terms of his programs, his policies and program, he did not waste time before he gave us what his key performance index were going to be. Even before he brought in his cabinet members, if you are a good follower of how government activities work, you agree with me that his key performance index were already set. You see a man that came into office, within his first 90 days in office, the key performance indicators were already there. He was already telling you that this is the direction I'm going to go. You saw him even inspecting star projects that were ongoing before even he brought in his cabinet. You saw him making policy statements that has to do with citizens' welfare. Vis-a-vis, you saw how he handled the backlog of arrears on civil servants in the state that was creating some, you know, unstable ease within the policy of the state, within the citizen. You saw how he handled that. How did he do it? You know, you see, some persons will not give that to him as kudos. But let me tell you why that is important. You know, the money actually runs in billions. But he knew that as a government, he will not be able to take this junk for once. What did he do? He faced it. And today, that is history. Those persons, those people, they are happy. Those retirees, they are happy. Even the people that maybe they have claims, and maybe by virtue of maybe the release was delayed, they passed. Their nest of skin also had the opportunity to benefit. So what I'm saying is that looking at his policies, looking at his programs, now looking at how he tends to develop the state, the key indicators have shown that yes, this is a man that wants to go in the right trajectory. You also agree with me that if you look at, you have said, let us just assess it generally. But if we delve into the educational sector, I'll be able to tell you the way and manner in which His Excellency has been able to.
Because you're serving in that sector to some extent right there. But we'll get there. Just before we get there, let's get the view of a comrade, engineer, I'm dashing you comrade again this morning, Engineer Oge, on the performance of this administration thus far in line with delivering their more agenda.
Yeah, first and foremost, I would like to appreciate the time to be here today. But I'd like to say that this is the first government in history where they keep to their words. When other governors come, they say everything. When they come in, the story is different. But ever since he emerged, he makes sure that everything he promised is working on it. I said something the other time I came, when I was invited here. I said it is in this regime that contractors, indigenous contractors, are put in the picture of certain decision making in the upper deck. If you look at the environment, for a very long time, let me use Warri for example, has been in darkness. When he came, he made sure that things are put in order. Let us put that aside. Look at some of the people he has appointed in key positions. These are people with great experience. I said something about the Commissioner for Youth and Sport. He has been in that field before he became Commissioner for Youth and Sport. If you look at the MD, he has been in that field, the super deck. He always wants to put the right knots in the right bolts in order to put things straight. This is no politics.
Okay.
This is reality. My take is, if we understand how it really means well for this state, this is the time we put political party aside and join to work. All those elements of distraction, this is not the right time to bring it to play. Because with all the deeds, all the actions, all the things that His Excellency have been putting in place, working on, the actual things that will cause this more agenda to come to play. Let us look at the meaning of more agenda. It is where you continue from where you meet. You increase, you develop on it. You don't scrap what you meet. You give more to those things. When it came, some government will say this project, because they need money, let's scrap those projects. We need to create another project in order to stop money. But they said no, they should finish the one on ground. Remember when they took budget to him to celebrate 100 days? Say that is not what should be done. Outstanding money should be paid to contractors so that they will be encouraged to finish the work. So that is what more really is. And with the way it's going right from when, since its assumption of office, we have a lot to gain in this system now. That's just what I have to say for now.
Okay, I'll come back now to Comrade Obaro Egagifo, and let's go into the education sector in Delta State. How has this administration helped to improve that sector in any way, and the steps they've taken thus far, and the steps they plan to take? Let us know some of this.
Okay, thank you very much. You see, if you look at the more agenda of His Excellency, when you talked about meaningful development, within the meaningful development, you have certain key factors. You have the economic reform, you have the human capital development, that is a comprising of the health reforms and the educational policies and all that. Now, I mentioned something earlier, and I thank God my brother corroborated that. If you observe His Excellency critically, you will discover that it's among the governors in Nigeria that speaks less, but more actions are taken.
Is that a flex? The governors who do not talk?
He doesn't. He's not a governor that speaks more than he actually does. His words, his works speaks for him. Now I'll give you an example.
Okay.
I'll give you an example. You see, when His Excellency came on board, within his 100 days in office, if you look at our educational institutions, vis-a-vis the universities we have in the state, okay, you see the man will keep telling you, I will advance Delta State. I will not come to create more problems for Deltans. I will advance Delta from where Delta State, I will take it to another level. Now, look at the man that is walking his talk now. Now, you agree with me that the previous administration led by His Excellency established 3 universities simultaneously, and that is no mean feat. And if you know how our systems operate, you will discover that as soon as those universities take off, you would have experienced a kind of glitch in their operation. But you know, when His Excellency came on board, those were some of the key aspects that his focus were. Within 100 days in office, we commissioned a faculty of agriculture in the Nsosadebe University Asaba that can be best described as one of the best we have in this country.
But isn't that a project that was fully paid for by the previous administration?
No. Go and check the history. What happened was that the universities were established by the previous administration. But don't forget that those universities were they barely have just 100 level and 200 level at the time of exit of those universities. But go and check their records now. For Dennis Osadebe, I can speak authoritatively on that because I'm a player in that sector. I work for His Excellency as his special assistant on student affairs. For Dennis Osadebe University, the number of programs that are in that university, they have since increased. Yes, they are since increased. Now, not only that, you know, when those universities were started, you will not just start with accreditation process. There was a verification exercise, a resource verification exercise, and that was what led to them having their programs approval. But as we speak, those programs have possibly undergone accreditation, and they are fully standing. Not only fully standing, they are distinct programs that would add impact to the economy of the state. So what I'm trying to say is that if you look at the educational sector, you see that the man has